This is day 802 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor our current share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It would be very greatly appreciated. Today we are doing Siman Tuf Kuf Bay Siv Dalet to Yud Aleph. Dalet. Ba'amagim Mishim Pirish Eish Eir Shalom Esom Mishim Nolad. Ma'ajish says Eish cannot be forbidden because of Nolad. Zel Lashono, and this is what he says. It's not like a egg which is laid, which is forbidden. It's not a thing which is suitable in and of itself for use. It only is suitable to use to cook or to bake. And therefore, it seems that if you did produce fire, you allowed to use it. The only way that they forbade is because you should not produce something new on Yontif. Evidently, it doesn't make it no lot, but you shouldn't do something new. Since it could have been beforehand. And quote from the Maggid Mishnah. My time when we should come molly beyond them. What that which Gemara says what is forbidden because you mold on Yontif, and no lot. It doesn't mean that the classic prohibition of no lot. We shouldn't produce something new on Yontif. But this is astonishing. How can say anything which is not to do with the food itself is not loaded? Prohibition of using broken vessels is because of nolad. And also the prohibition of using seeds to make as fuel. Also having shum nolad is because of nolad as well. Because like we saw in the previous statement. So you have to say, it's not simply food which has the concept of nolad, but anything with a substance, substantial. But fire, which has no substance whatsoever. It's like there's no prohibition to take out a flame on Shabbos. Or Midoraisa, there's no prohibition of enjoying a flame which is produced by Hekdesh. And the many qualities which are not relevant to flame, because it's something which has no substance, and it's not possible to devolve upon it some specific prohibition. Even the prohibition of avodah zarah, which is severe, does not pertain to a flame. So I can say no applies to flame. Rambam. Must be like the Rambam said that you should have done it from yesterday. It's actually quite a significant svara. The Rambam says here about Taz Sifkan Avni Stabech Divi Rambam Magamish. Taz got entangled in the words of Rambam Magid Mishnah. The Perish goes to Tam Makshirin, and he has assumed that the reason that it's also because of Makshirin preparations, which should not be done on Yontif. Tamar Magid Mishnah Shita B'Yeven. Therefore, he was astounded. Magid Mishnah will allow it B'Yeven. But Gam B'Yeven also, and Taz want to say also B'Yeven. It's also Ayin Sham. Avol Lefi Mashler sounded to come also, but based on what he wrote in his intent, his words are clear. Ruim Melav, appropriate for somebody like the Maggid Mishnah to have said the Kain Roy Loros, and that is the way to Paskin. And this Mishnah does not seem to disagree with that. Hey, Ochnei by Mishnah. We also learned in the Mishnah, you can't make coals on the other. I told eats him, that means to take wood, aviron, and to burn them. Until they become coals, and then to cook with them. Perish Rashi, the clear surface of charcoal is a tool for jewelers, people who refine gold, because it creates a high intensity flame. But the Ran explains because you're extinguishing, because you have to extinguish the wood in order to produce charcoal. So it's here when you make the charcoal, you extinguish the fire. It's only to make charcoal. But it's only to ignite coal charcoal. It's obviously mutter. Finally, learned ain't nothing mapach. You can't blow the bellows on Yontif. The Mexico looks like craftsman doing work. I'm looking for ferret, but he used a tube to blow in the fire. Who writes the Rosh Hitim Mapach Shel Balabais Shukatan. The Rosh allowed a bellows of a balabais, a home bellows, which is small. Flow down the Umar, It's not like the work of a craftsman, not like that of a blacksmith, nor of a goldsmith. Since it's only allowed a tube, any type of bellows is prohibited. Taisus rejected this. It's not proof. Perhaps only talking about the craftsman's bellows. Because of says the belt. It's Matthew bellows by turning it upside down. Not sure how that works, but Mishnah says a large bellows of a craftsman, even by making shinui, it's also. We don't have home bellows. That which we blow the fire with heavy feathers. Certainly permitted like a tube. We usually use our mouth to ignite the coals. There's no prohibition of nolad in producing a flame out of a burning coal. The flame is within it. But by blowing on it, we bring it, we extract it. The two generations prior to us, I guess we're the second generation. On weekdays we create fire. I dare say gafris sheyesh b'roshon havosfor shvotim l'chim. We use matches which have sulfur on top, which has embedded it the potential for high heat. Shlachim also is a dover when you scrape it on something. Miyad yotza ish, immediately fire comes out. V'nechas beitzadak shekorin shvinska or svabla. I guess that's the name they gave to the matchstick. The dover there shantab osim shum nohav klonin zarmazed. It's known to everybody not to strike a match, and you have to, everybody's careful about this. Nambi al dusenu, but in our youth, Yispach etish nogim was so begachelas boeres miyad alekas. It became commonly perceived to be mutter to touch the match to a burning coal, and immediately the match would ignite. I don't understand the reason for the leniency. Herself, motim eshmagafis, found out that you're creating fire from the sulfur. Shamati b'yalsi should go to heat here. In my youth, I heard that a great rabbi permitted this. The reason is because the fire is not being produced by the sulfur. The fire is being extracted from the coal. And because sulfur has this fiery quality to it, it draws the flame from the coal. That was it. Arukh HaShulchan cast aspersion on this. I don't know. So it seems to need proof. The Shema Gachel Smores Koach Shbagofis. Maybe the coal is arousing the power of fire in the sulfur. Maybe since the flame in the coal assists the process, aims the canola. So it wouldn't be like nola. Rambam, especially according to the logic of the Rambam, the only permitted fire from an existing fire, which is see base, was the fire in the coal is existing. Excellent. Regardless, the velt is mako. The says in brackets here, therefore matches are not muktzah. To put them by a coal, even if you can't strike them. The Shabura says the brings down Chuvas Ksav Sofer, who forbade lighting cinderholz, matchsticks, by putting them into the ashes in a hot oven where there's no fire, only the heat of the fire, where there's no flame, only the heat of the fire, because then you are creating something new. And also to strike the match on hot metal, such as the metal of an oven. Also, it did not be matir. But if there is a burning coal, you're allowed to touch the match to the burning coal, even though there is no flame emanating from the coal at this moment, and even if the coals are dark. So it seems that it is permitted. Lamaisa, I think today we look at the matches just as fuel, and therefore we do ignite the matches like the Arukh says. Oh no, Golam is a heter. Zayin. Mutar chasosa eish b'chlio b'afar mukon. You're allowed to cover a fire with a vessel or even with dirt, which has been prepared. Imenu mechabei b'shas ma'aseh. That doesn't extinguish it at the time that you're covering it. Even if it happened that it became extinguished, so you should not attend. And it's also because you don't. Your intention was not to extinguish it in order to produce charcoal or burnt wick, which is the purpose for which you're chayav when you extinguish a fire. The dafka tzorch yom zand is only for today. Most says that tzorch yom sheni. But if you're doing this from the sheni, which is mechasa b'boker tzorch erev, which is you cover the fire in the morning, I guess to preserve it to nightfall. Also, it's minute. They don't seem shum davar after rishon sheyom sheni. I make any preparations from the first day until the second day until. Koshkem yom sheni tzorch erev shulchan certainly bring yom sheni for the evening, which is a weekday. But otherwise, it's certainly forbidden. If you cover so much, to the point that certainly part of it's going to be extinguished. Also, if you talk to them, so even for the same day, you're not allowed to extinguish fire on Yontif except in the circumstances. Which will be explained much later on. Mr. Bura brings down some Ukrainian on Mako in any event, because you don't have a mind to extinguish, but on the contrary, so it's in order that you find the fire the next day. You have to have fire the next day. In other words, it's to preserve the fire. I'm not sure the Mishnah Berurah gets away with that because, again, it seems to be a chana. Maybe preserve the fire because Hoil, you could use it later on in the day. A bundle of wood which is lit in a bonfire. Any wood which has not been seized by fire, which is something can remove from the bonfire. It's not extinguishing because not yet the flame hasn't seized hold yet. It's not like oil in the candle. Trust stopping manner which you're not allowed to remove because you're extinguishing, which as we shall see. All is considered to be one connected unit. But the wood, the pieces of wood are separate from each other. The which were a bundle of wood, Rambam. That's the language of the Rambam. Torah said, Medura writes as follows: Medura is made some document, a bonfire made of a thin piece of wood. Mutar and coals much lower chaz ben or you'll have to remove wood from it as long as that piece of wood has not become a flame. Okay, also similar to the Rambam. Test the issue is still didactic, but Lashon Rambam. However, those who want to refer from the language of the Rambam, they wrote a bundle. If they're not a bundle, I feel also or even those which are a flame, you're allowed to remove. But the two which doesn't mention a bundle, I feel and nevertheless he only was matir those which did not yet become get seized by the fire. That's by small twigs. Avogasim, but with thick pieces of wood, it's only forbidden to remove them if they're part of the bundle. Since I'm looking at Avram. Arukh HaShulchan rejects it. It says, any moving cloud. It's not understood at all. Those are one which the fire has already taken hold. How can you remove it? What's the difference if it's large or small? Or whether it's part of a bundle or not. The Rokech writes outright, wood in the fire, and the side can't remove that. It's like extinguishing. There's a distinction between the sides of the wood. Ram wrote a bundle. Doesn't mean that necessarily they're bundled together. This close together as if they're bundled. They're in a clump. The loke, if not, ain't rabusa cloud mashu mutali told us. Now there's no chiddush taking one away. Shloch zamena, or it was not on fire because it's not part of the bonfire. Tushkas meitim dakim gankin kamaskein. Two wrote thin twigs. Also, he means the same thing. The stam meitim dakim gankin yachad. The small twigs, they are connected together. Dina baruch shekol esh nechsaba or also saka. There's a Johan straight out. Any wood which is a flame, you can't remove it. Brack says also Zel Kamaras Ham Yaraba, which brings down the opinions that distinguish between bundled or not and between the size of wood, but I don't think he determines either way. You have Kasar Ben above sea base. Mutzadikach Eitza Dolik Mitzad Zesha Madura. You take a piece of wood which is burning on one side of the bonfire, you can put it on the other side. You don't mind to extinguish it. It's normal when you take a burning piece of wood and it doesn't immediately get extinguished. Only after a little bit of time. So take it completely away, it's forbidden. That's extinguishing because it's going to go out. Afi Mulai Evshar, Mashek Shom side to side, but you take one side to the other side, it's not going to get extinguished. Even though it's possible will get extinguished. Have that shame miskamis, something which you don't intend to do. That's not an automatic. It's not like a law which we're going to learn later on. They're now to take a wick from a burning candle. Lead no linear achet to put into another candle. Ayin sham. Because a wick gets extinguished immediately. When you move it, it immediately extinguishes. Ayin sham. He sends brackets of Tasham, Shemikon has asked a contradiction because the Shnei Deos him. He said that it is a contradiction. Ayin sham, ve'en okay, so it shows not a contradiction. Yav, yesh gas v'shemuta yikach ur min hamadura l'her balayla. So those say you can take a piece of wood, burning piece of wood from the bonfire and make yourself a torch to illuminate the night. Chain el gram kibui, you're only causing it to get extinguished, and that's not your intent. So he won't get extinguished. But the valve doesn't do this. That's correct. It brings down here, base Yosef, Tasman, Abundant, like this money, Mordechai. But that's can you later, Mimash is Barsha, Dafki Tzad Zel, Tzad Zel. And this seems clear from what we explained. So from one side of the fire to the other side of the fire, Olim Durach to another bonfire. Mutter Tokev, Lo, it's still going to be not to move it all together. The other side to Enka Machlokas. The Arukh HaShulchan says, you know what? Really, there's no Machlokas here. It depends. The vade ate a piece of wood somewhat thick. We see when you move from the fire, it's not going to get immediately extinguished. But over the course of many minutes, it will get extinguished. That you certainly can't take it to illuminate. But there's wood which is very thin, a little bit wide, it's called cane. And then with these, when they burn, even if they're outside the bonfire, they'll burn till they run completely down. What's somebody with those you still have to use and move away and use for illumination. And this is those who matter meant this kind of wood, the and that was where one can paskin halacha l'maisa.